Hi again, and let's continue animating the Android logo. So if you take a look at the timeline window here, you will find that the length of the video is by default 5 seconds. And we don't know, maybe it will be, our video, maybe it will be 7 seconds, 10 seconds. Of course it will not be like that, but maybe. So what I recommend is to make the length more, just in case you did need more time in order to finish your project. And because it will be harder to change that later. So all what you need to do is to drag the end of the clip like that. And by doing that, the length of the video will increase. And you can see it will be about 8 seconds. So make the same thing for the rest of the layers. And now we are ready to go and work. So the first thing we will animate is the body. So this is the body. And we will make the body above all layers. So just click and drag it above the head. Now the body is the first layer, and in order to animating, I need to convert it to a smart object. Okay, so right click and convert it to a smart object. Here we go, and now we will animate it. So before doing that, let's see what we want to achieve. So you can see the video will start with a green color, which will be the body of the Android. So you can see at that time nothing will happen, then the body will come like that and bounce. And this is what we will do in this lecture. So let's get back to our work and zoom in the timeline until you see the 10 and 5 frames, which is less than 1 second. Okay, then add a transform keyframe at the beginning here, and another one at 10 frames, then another one at 20 frames. Okay, and in order to work easily, just hide all other layers. So right click at the eye and choose show and hide all others, and you can unhide the background if you want. So at the first keyframe right here, press Ctrl T and make the body fill the screen. Hold Shift and Alt and just make it fill the screen like that. Okay, so you can see now it's filled the screen. Now what you expect to happen during the first 10 frames, you can see it will get back to the original position. So during that time the size will change and it will get back to the original one, but we want it to remain there without animating. So to do that, right click at the first keyframe and choose copy. Then at the second keyframe, paste it. Now you can see between those two keyframes nothing will happen because the two keyframes have the same properties, and we will start animating it after that. And you may wonder why it start animating. So that's because we change the size at 10 frames. So it will by default get back to the first size, which is the original size. And between those two keyframes, let's add the rotation animation. To rotate it, add a keyframe here and press Ctrl T in your keyboard to enable transform options, and right here make the angle 180. So what will happen is between this keyframe and this keyframe, it will rotate to 180. Then again between this keyframe and this keyframe, it will rotate 180 degrees. Okay, because this have the original properties of the shape. Fantastic, now we have this animation. Now let's add the bouncing effects, which is something very easy to do. All what you need to do is to add another keyframe after 5 frames right here. Okay, and what I will do is just change this keyframe 10. So you can see now the 10 and 25 frames had the same properties. Okay, so if I change the first one, it will get back to the second one automatically. So press Ctrl T at these 20 frames here and just make it smaller like that. Okay, so it will bounce back during that time. Now let's see the animation. and I think it's so fast, so drag this keyframe to 1 second here. That will be much better. Okay, and you can add a keyframe here and drag that keyframe back to add the physics effects. So it will be fast first, then slow down. So this is our first animation, the body animation. In the next lecture, we will animate the legs and hands. So hang tight. Thank you for watching this and see you there.